Hello, Stephen. I want to go over your shell. So the homepage is fine. There's nothing wrong with the homepage, but you have a little issue on the syllabus page. So when I go to the syllabus page, um, when I go all the way to the bottom and I click on the video, it doesn't play. And that's going to be an accessibility issue. So you could either fix that or you could eliminate it and get 3 points for it. Another issue that I noticed that you have is that when I go to edit, I notice that your headers are not in headers, you have them in paragraph. And that's also creates an accessibility issue. So what you have to do, highlight whatever you have in bigger words, you could say, go to paragraph and change it to heading. And you have to change those two headings and not in paragraph form, the way you have it. When I go to modules, and then I go to the course information page and the welcome. No, I don't think it's the welcome, it's the course syllabus. It's the same thing. You're going to have that issue with the headers. So it's paragraph and it's not a heading. So you're going to have to change that. And I believe you also have another issue with a video. Let me go back. When you go to the welcome, right here in the course information, and I click on the video, I can't see the video, and that's also an issue. So you can either fix that or just delete that. The next thing I want to talk to you about are your modules, the way you have them set up. So right here for your module 1, I noticed that you don't have a discussion or an assignment, and that's wrong. You need to have a few components in each module. So let me show you my module as an example. So if you notice in my module, I have an introduction, a discussion, a quiz, an assignment, and a lesson, and then I have the summary. Look at the other module, it's the same setup. I have the introduction, I have a discussion, I have a lesson, quiz, and I should have an assignment. So everything is set up the same way. So let's compare it to your module. Not that one. This one over here, I believe so. So in your module, you have your introduction, then you have some lessons, you could say, some pages. Here's another page. Then you have a quiz. You're missing an assignment. Right here, you have a discussion, but you don't have a discussion up here. And you do have an assignment and you have a quiz, but you're missing a lesson. So that's what's going on there. You need to make sure that your modules have, go back to mine, an introduction, a discussion, a quiz, an assignment, a lesson, and then your summary. Module 1 and Module 2 need to have those components. Another issue that you have in your module is that some of the documents are not accessible. Even though you got them from a website that is probably government-based, you have to make sure that they're accessible. So you have to do the accessibility check. If they're not accessible, you have to make them accessible or just don't use them. So you had issues with module 1 for accessibility on the documents you have there. And also for Module 2, there's also some issues with the documents you have there. Now, the other thing I want to talk to you about is the setup of how you have some of these assignments, quizzes, and discussion. The setup you have for each part, it's very important. So I'm going to go back to my module so you could have an example. So for my introduction, I'm going to have a video. I'm going to have a module overview, like what is this module about? I'm going to have the outcomes of the student, and then I'm going to hyperlink all the important dates to the page that they need to do. And these hyperlinks are going to be to their discussion, their quizzes, and their assignments. So for the introduction, you have a video that you create, a module overview, the outcomes, and hyperlink important dates. Next, so this is an example of a discussion. I have the discussion goal, and all of these have headers. So you notice how the discussion goal is in heading 2. So I have the goal of the discussion, and then you talk about why is this discussion important. And make sure that you state that the student needs to reply, that the student needs to communicate with each other. You have to state it that it's a must. They have to do this. And then I have another header with the instructions. Then I explain the instructions and I have the due dates, which you did do that. You do have the due dates. So then you have to have the instructions of what the students must do for their discussion. And then it's not necessary for you to put the resources, but put the feedback, like how are you going to be responding or how are you going to be grading, and let the student know. But all of these have to be under headers. So this is an example of a discussion. And you need to have two discussions, one for your module 1 and one for your module 2. Okay, now let me give you an example, a different template, I should say. So the quiz. For your quizzes, you have to have a header that says purpose or objective, whatever it is that you want to put right here. And then just state the purpose or the objective of the quiz. Then you need to have another header. And in the header will be the instructions. Let the student know what they're going to be doing, what they have to do. But you have to make sure that you state when the quiz is due within the instructions. And you could take it one step further and give them the format, how the quiz is composed of. I know you had it, but you had everything in a paragraph form and not necessarily divided in by headers. So this is an example of a quiz. Now this is an example of an assignment. You need to have the goal of the assignment and have it in a header. The instructions, have it in the header, and then just give the instructions. And within the assignment, always have written out the due date. And then how would the student submit the assignment? And how are you going to be grading them and giving them feedback? So that's the setup for an assignment. Then I have my module summary, which I just state the work they've done and the learning objectives they reached. You have it in paragraph form, and that's fine. Your summary is fine. This is just how I have it, but yours is okay. Those were the major things I found. Please look over the notes that I have on the rubric. If you could make those corrections and submit it by so today's the 12th, could you submit it by the 19th, please, of this month? And let me know if you have any further questions. Thank you so much.